Hi, boys. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to read you the next couple chapters, and I'm very excited because I finally got the book. And so now I'm not reading off my Kindle anymore. Can you see the picture? All those animals? There. So I'm excited, and we'll find out what happened when um, Farmer Brown's boy meets Buster Bear. So, Chapter 14, A Surprising Thing Happens. Blacky the Crow and Sammy Jay, looking down from the top of a tall tree, held their breath. Happy Jack the Gray Squirrel and his cousin, Chatterer the Red Squirrel, looking down from another tree, held their breath. Unc' Billy Possum, sticking his head out from a hollow tree, held his breath. Bobby Coon, looking through a hole in a hollow stump in which he was hiding, held his breath. Reddy Fox, lying flat down behind a heap of brush, held his breath. Peter Rabbit, sitting bolt upright under a thick hemlock branch with eyes and ears wide open, held his breath. And all the other little people who happened to be where they could see did the same thing. You see, it was the most exciting moment ever was in the Green Forest. Farmer Brown's boy had just stepped out from behind one side of a little hemlock tree, and Buster Bear had just stepped out from behind the opposite side of the little hemlock tree, and neither had known that the other was anywhere near. For a whole minute they stood there, face to face, gazing into each other's eyes, while everybody watched and waited, and it seemed as if the whole Green Forest was holding its breath. Then something happened. Yes, sir, something happened. Farmer Brown's boy opened his mouth and yelled. It was such a sudden yell and such a loud yell that it startled Chatterer so that he nearly fell from his place in the tree, and it made Reddy Fox jump to his feet, ready to run. And that yell was a yell of fright. There was no doubt about it, for with the yell, Farmer Brown's boy turned and ran for home, and no one ever had seen him run before. He ran just as fast as Peter Rabbit runs when he has got to reach the dear old briar patch before Reddy Fox can catch him, which you know is as fast as he can run. Once he stumbled and fell, but he scrambled to his feet in a twinkling, and away he went without once turning his head to see if Buster Bear was after him. There wasn't any doubt that he was afraid, very much afraid. Everybody leaned forward to watch him. "What did I tell you? Didn't I say that he was afraid of Buster Bear?" cried Little Joe Otter, dancing about with excitement. "You were right, Little Joe. I'm sorry that I doubted it. See him go." "Caw, caw, caw!" shrieked Blacky the Crow. For a minute or two everybody forgot about Buster Bear. Then there was a great crash, which made everybody turn to look the other way. What do you think they saw? Why, Buster Bear was running away too, and he was running twice as fast as Farmer Brown's boy. He bumped into trees and crashed through bushes and jumped over logs, and in almost no time at all he was out of sight. Altogether, it was the most surprising thing that the little people of the Green Forest had ever seen. Sammy Jay looked at Blacky the Crow, and Blacky looked at Chatterer, and Chatterer looked at Happy Jack, and Happy Jack looked at Peter Rabbit, and Peter looked at Unc' Billy Possum, and Unc' Billy looked at Bobby Coon, and Bobby looked at Johnny Chuck, and Johnny looked at Reddy Fox, and Reddy looked at Jimmy Skunk, and Jimmy looked at Billy Mink, and Billy looked at Little Joe Otter, and for a minute nobody could say a word. Then Little Joe gave a funny little gasp. Why, said he, "I believe Buster Bear is afraid too." Unc' Billy Possum chuckled. "I believe you're right again, Brer Otter," said he. "It certainly does look so. If Brer Bear isn't scared, he must have remembered something important and has gone to attend to it in a powerful hurry." Then everybody began to laugh. Here's a nice picture. Running away. Can you find any hidden animals in there? I couldn't find any, but maybe you guys have better eyes than I do. All right. The next chapter is called Buster Bear is a Fallen Hero. A fallen hero is someone to whom everyone has looked up as very brave and then proves to be less brave than he was supposed to be. That was the way with Buster Bear. When Little Joe Otter had told how Farmer Brown's boy had been afraid at the mere sight of one of Buster Bear's big footprints, they had at once made a hero of Buster. At least some of them had. As this was the first time, the very first time, that they had ever known anyone who lives in the Green Forest to make Farmer Brown's boy run away. They looked on Buster Bear with a great deal of respect and were very proud of him. But now they had seen Buster Bear and Farmer Brown's boy meet face to face, and while it was true that Farmer Brown's boy had run away as fast as ever he could, it was also true that Buster Bear had done the same thing. He had run even faster than Farmer Brown's boy and had hidden in the most lonely place he could find in the very deepest part of the Green Forest. It was hard to believe, but it was true. And right away, everybody lost a great deal of the respect for Buster which they had felt. It is always that way. They began to say unkind things about him. They said them among themselves, and some of them even said them to Buster Bear when they met him, or said them so that he could hear them. Of course, Blacky the Crow and Sammy Jay, who, because they can fly, have nothing to fear from Buster, and who always delight in making other people uncomfortable, never let a chance go by to tell Buster and everybody else within hearing what they thought of him. They delighted in flying about through the Green Forest until they had found Buster Bear, and then from the safety of the treetops screaming at him, "Buster Bear is big and strong, his teeth are big, his claws are long. In spite of these he runs away and hides himself the livelong day." A dozen times a day Buster would hear them screaming this. He would grind his teeth and glare up at them. But that was all he could do. He couldn't get at them. He just had to stand it and do nothing. But when impudent little Chatterer the Red Squirrel shouted the same thing from a place just out of reach in a big pine tree, Buster could stand it no longer. He gave a deep, angry growl that made little shivers run over Chatterer, and then suddenly he started up that tree after Chatterer. With a frightened little shriek, Chatterer scampered to the top of the tree. He hadn't known that Buster could climb, but Buster is a splendid climber, especially when the tree is big and stout as this one was. And now he went up after Chatterer, growling angrily. How Chatterer did wish that he had kept his tongue still. He ran to the very top of the tree, so frightened that his teeth chattered. And when he looked down and saw Buster's great mouth coming nearer and nearer, he nearly tumbled down with terror. The worst of it was, there wasn't another tree near enough for him to jump to. He was in trouble this time, was Chatterer, sure enough. And there was no one to help him. Dun, dun, dun. That's the end of the chapter. We're going to have to wait till next time to find out what happens to Chatterer the squirrel. What do you think is going to happen? I won't read ahead, I promise. All right. See you later. Have a good night or good day wherever you are when you're reading this or listening. Bye.